So I'm going to go ahead and line this up properly. It does look like our overlays need to be refreshed here really quickly, so we'll get that sorted out. But this should be Chicago represented by color blue, and Ironside is color red. Chromar. This looks like some pretty aggressive positioning here.
Yeah, very well could be. Of course, they've been spotted. There's pings going down. Ironside knows that Chicago is in this brush, so they're going to stay the hell away from it. And they don't want to go up against the Thresh in a level 1 team fight. They do have Zyra, but Thresh is terrifying, and want to stay away from him. But it looks like they're going for. I'm not sure if they're doing a hard CJ. Wow, a pink ward at 1 minute. That's something else. Looks like they're doing a hard CJ of the red buff. Meanwhile, maybe they're doing a red buff trade. That's what it looks like to me. And Chicago actually doesn't have vision of their own red, and as a result, they don't know that they're there, but they might guess it.
Right.
But they do know that Eve is going to go red first. They know that part.
Yeah, one thing is for sure, Lear on Shen is not with his team right now. He does have the option to teleport to a ward at level 1, but I don't really see a reason for that apart from trying to catch his enemies by surprise. So if a team fight breaks out here...
Yeah, Ironsides has a ward in that brush that they're sitting in. Oh my god, they have no idea.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, Ironside is totally aware of the positioning for Chicago right now. Man, these overlays are really confusing until we get these changed out.
Yeah,
because it's showing the matchups from yesterday, but yeah.
All right, there we go. So they're taking red for Lee Sin, and they're taking. It looks like I guess Evelyn is actually taking her red. It's just taking a long time to get over there. So all the CJing and whatnot kind of backfiring for everybody as they were a little bit terrified of a team fight. I think Chicago knew that they had the upper hand if there was a level 1 fight.
Yeah, we're seeing Zed mid here, Chromar, and Kennen top versus Zed versus a Kale. What kind of a mid lane is this?
Yeah, I don't know. Zed versus Kale, that's different. So I had to swap up my...
By the way, I want to point out this is the second time in Summoner's Rift Chicago has decided to play without a straight AP carry. In fact, they hardly have any AP on the map, depending on how this Kennen decides to build.
Right. It could go Bruiser, could go a lot of different ways. And check out Armor Break in E Honda here.
Whoa.
White Power Zed in the blue buff. And we have a serious counter jungle here with Chicago just going wild on this blue buff.
And it looks like Armor Break is going to be able to chase down Box Chop with this red buff.
Flashing forward. Alias might get that first blood. And no, the first blood actually goes to Misfortune, taking out Kale. I think it was Misfortune's Ignite. That tick went down first. Chicago actually picked up 2 for 1.
Yeah, they practically died at the same time back there.
Yeah, it was like within a millisecond.
Yeah, that was sad. I mean,
the race for first blood.
Yeah, they were. Ironside was really pulling for that first blood from the looks of things, but yeah, it just Seal Terror just kind of got gypped there. I mean, it was like a battle of the Ignites. The Ignites were just counting down. But hey, you know what? The first blood went to Ironside, but 2 kills went to Chicago. So Chicago actually came out ahead in that exchange, in addition to CJing that blue. So definitely in a position of power right now. It does look like we have the overlays working. We're just sorting out all the kinks right now, but we should be ready to get into this broadcast in full swing. Chromar. It does look like early game, Chicago is kind of ahead in terms of farm and in terms of the psychological game here. Look at Ehamda's very aggressive positioning. We expected nothing less from this player. He's so aggressive, and look at him ambushing the Evelyn.
Alias. Oh my god. Lee Sin's even coming up to back him up. And this, keep in mind that Honda is not even their jungler. He's their mid laner doing that.
Yeah.
He's their mid laner doing this, a hard CJ like that. That's crazy.
He just, I mean, he ambushed Evelyn. Evelyn's the one who's supposed to ambush people.
Yeah.
He stole her red. He shut her down in the jungle. Just got a kill. Man, that was such a sweet play by Ehamda. That's the kind of plays I'm talking about. High risk, high reward. That's the kind of player Ehamda is. It makes him a huge pleasure to watch. And look, now he's going to bait this
No, Box Top actually got it. Nice work, Box Top. Wow, that bait backfired hard.
Yes.
On Ehamda. He did not expect to get caught there.
As I just explained, high risk, high reward.
Yes.
It doesn't always work out in your favor. Ehamda getting really ballsy with his baits right there, underestimating the damage output.
Okay. So after all that action in the mid lane and jungle, let's take a look at the bot lane farm. We actually see that Greenleaf Boy on Ironsides is way ahead of Seal Terry. Maybe because Seal Terry spent so much time out of position and trying to chase people in the jungle and whatnot. But for one reason or another, Greenleaf Boy has been dominating on farm, and we'll see if that continues or if Seal Terror managed to make a comeback on there. The harass war seems to be, going in favor of Zyra and Caitlyn. That's no surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to address the stream really quick, hey guys, I'm not dropping any frames here on the broadcasting end, like literally 0. So if there's lag in 720, I don't believe that is on my end. We'll take a look at it after this game though, as it doesn't appear to be any serious problem. But maybe that's a location-based thing. You guys can discuss amongst yourself whether or not that depends on your location. But anyways, enough chitter-chatter about the stream. I think everything's fine. Hamda getting a moment of free farm there in the mid lane. Look at him, Crowmore. He's I mean, actually, Kale has 2 kills as well. I forgot about that first blood, but look at Hamda's build. 3 swords. This guy's crazy. He's going all AD right now. Probably wants to bum rush that brutalizer, but he got 3 blades. So
yeah, he wants for lasting power as well as for her very, very early game harass. That's what he's going for. And those are just a very cheap way to get flat AD for spamming your shuriken. But I don't know if that strategy is really working for him, because I mean his best play so far obviously has been camping and waiting for Eve. But as far as laning against Boxtop's been ahead the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Boxtop has proven himself to be a very strong mid laner. I think we've seen him play Malzahar once or twice.
We saw him play Kale in Twisted Treeline and he dominated. And we saw him play Malzahar in Dominion and Summoner's Rift. And he was dominating on all those champions. On the Malzahar, he was in a 2v1 lane, right? And he was denied experience and denied gold, yet he did a fairly admirable job of catching up. And he certainly outpaced the enemy's AP carry, who was in a similar situation, a 2v1 experience and CS stolen by her jungler. So I think that goes to show Boxtop, can handle himself under stress, which is what he's under right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dealing with this freaking monster Zed on Hamda, as well as armor breaks Lee Sin, who we've already seen is, last game. If you guys didn't see the last Chicago game, armor break was playing Rengar. And his jungling, ganking madness, oh man, he was huge. You just leap out of nowhere, murder people. I mean, it's exactly what Rengar needs to do. He was playing this really, really solid, terrifying assassin Rengar.
Yeah,
now he's playing the Lee Sin.
Looks like Chicago's strategy is heavily dependent on counter jungling. They like to take the enemy jungle out of the game, which is what they did in their first Summoner's Rift and what they're trying to do to a lesser extent today. But Lee Sin, he's a decent counter jungler. They're relying more on the Zed in the early game to get that done. And as a result, actually, Crowmar, we haven't seen Evelynn perform at all, hardly. She has 1 assist and 2 deaths, and not a whole lot of map presence, especially not for an Evelynn.
Yeah.
So I do like this strategy a lot from Chicago. Another key strategy they use is bruisers, man. They don't like their AP carries from the looks of things. There's hardly any magic damage on the map for Chicago. And
Kennan's building Doran's blades, if you guys didn't notice. So he's not running a standard AP build around his ult or whatnot. So we'll see if that pays off for them or not. It's tough to say. I mean, it seems like they could just build armor. I mean, they're not going to be able to kill Lyre at all late game.
You can get away with it with items like Last Whisper and Rune King, but it makes your builds a bit more one-dimensional. You can't vary up your builds as much if you have to build a whole bunch of armor pen. So it looks like they almost like to end the game early, which is what they did last time. Here comes armor break. Kenny Terra is trying to bait some aggression here from Lear, but I think Lear is too wise for this play.
Yeah, he is. Lear's too cautious and Shen is too strong. I would not waste my time ganking a Shen. I mean, ultimately, what do you get out of it? It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, Lear is definitely, he's smelling some fish in the top lane, as he does not want to progress even close to his river right now. Just keeping an eye on Lear. Yeah, he must have caught sight of this, Crowmore. He must have stumbled over a ward or something.
Gamer sense. I mean, Lee Sin's been missing for a long time, and he hasn't attacked Boxtop, and Boxtop has really superior vision. So I believe that they know he's not going to gank Boxtop, so they figure by process elimination, he's probably going to gank Shen. Bot lane also is extremely well warded. And check out Alias coming up. Hasn't been spotted yet. Probably will be in a second. See if he can go for Seal Terror. Or Mouse, but probably Seal Terror. And
Alias is he's trying to do a very timely gank here, shrouding one.
Lyre getting caught. I don't think he expected him to be there that long. There's a Dragon's Rage, but Boxtop is here.
Yeah,
and the Kennen ult wasted because of the miscommunication with Armor Break's ults. That's that's not good.
Look at that coordination. Boxtop rescuing his top laner right there. Meanwhile, Alias in the bot lane stumbles straight through the box and then gets flayed. Oh, bullet time should save Thresh. Nice
Wow.
play there from
Yes,
Seal
it did.
Terror. The AD carry blocks the ace in the hole for the support. You don't see that all the time.
Yeah, the support really, the AD carry really saved the support there. That's why I'm not supposed to focus support. Supports are way too difficult to kill, and AD carry does way too much damage while he's around. Not a good choice, but that's okay.
Some very patient ganks here from junglers on both sides, neither of which actually worked out for him.
No.
Hamda is going to come in and try to assassinate Evelyn.
Wow.
Oh, but the Stand
Shen.
United saves her from the Zed ult right there.
Yes.
Really strong play from Lear, and
man.
Hamda is kicking himself after that play.
Yeah. He's like, damn, I thought I was going to get her and get out, but
Yeah.
But massive play from Lyra. See if they can get this dragon. I don't think there's going to be any chance of a
Yeah,
no,
this
there's
is a
not.
sealed
There's
dragon.
no
but
chance of a steal. This is a solid dragon.
Chicago
for
took that
Ironsides.
opportunity to go ahead and push their top lane, which is a very smart play, making
Sure.
the best of a bad situation. And it looks like Kenny Terror is really dominating the top lane from the looks of things, taking team captain Lear out of the picture, at least for the time being. He's significantly far ahead in CS and has now pushed 1.5 towers in the top lane. So we'll wait to see if Kenny Terror decides to
Ward
go for some more.
fight. Ward fight. Oh, both
kidding.
pink wards went down. Oh man. Man,
Yeah.
the true cost of war, you know.
Leave it to Chromar to get excited about some wards down there.
You know it. Oh man. Vision? Oh, love it. So Alias is checking this lane out, see if he wants to maybe do a gank. However, the Caitlyn player is back. That'd be Greenleaf Boy. And check out Box Top slugging it out. And Ehamda maybe.
Hamda is definitely not performing the way we expected him to in the early game.
Yeah. Well, he had that amazing counter jungle gank on Eve. That was mind blowing. But since then, he's been getting outplayed a little bit by Box Top.
Yeah, he has been roaming a lot in his defense, which results in he's not tunnel visioned on his mid lane as nearly as much as Box Top is. So he will eventually fall behind if his roaming doesn't result in some kills. So maybe he's realized that now, and he's decided that he needs to focus on his lane. He just got the blue buff. Obviously, it helps out energy users quite a bit if you didn't know. Look how fast his energy is regenerating. He's able to just spam abilities, and of course the added CDR is going to allow him to move around a lot more quickly.
Yes.
And he might try to coordinate a tower dive here with armor break. He might also try to push this tower.
Well, they don't know, but Liar's coming up. Oh, now they do
Yeah.
know. Actually, they spot him with that ward at the bush.
Yeah.
And so they know that backed off at this point.
Both of Lear's teleports are down. Kennen, however, took Ignite, and he's just really focused in the top lane right now. It looks like Lear's just here to cover the mid lane while Kayle goes back, so they don't lose a tower. And it would be very foolish to dive this Shen, I think, right now. Unless we get some kind of crazy Dragon Rage out of the tower range sort of play.
So I just noticed that Kenny Terror here has picked up a Haunted Guy, so he's switching. And it looks like he was only using the Doran's Blades for last hitting in the beginning, which is understandable.
Interesting.
It could also be just a shift in his plan, but he does have AP runes. There is a small amount of AP runes, because he has more AP than just the Haunted Guys. So my guess is that he started out with some kind of hybrid build that was more focused around early game, and then made the decision to switch later, or just wanted to leave it flexible enough so that he could go with whatever the team needed.
Look at that, Zyra ult interrupting everything back there, but it wasn't enough. She still died. I think she did land that true shot on Thresh there for a moment. But yes, definitely Ironside not looking so hot in the bot lane. Needs some help from Evelyn, and she hasn't really been there to provide it. Yeah, Chromar's right about this Kennen build. It is very strange. He might decide to follow through with a full-blown hybrid build into the late game. I would like to see that, although I'm not so sure it's very powerful on Kennen. He kind of needs to pick one or the other, I feel.
Yeah,
But I could be wrong. I don't
Kennen
play
really
it.
needs that AP to make the most out of his ult. His ultimate is Slicing Maelstrom, extremely powerful, very powerful. Problem is that if you run 80 Kennen, it's essentially just a stun machine. And, the stuns are nice, but you're missing out on a lot of damage. Anyway, we would initiate on on Greenleaf Boy, just barely escaping, and Umaus actually may pay for his life. Alias is still chasing this. However, Seal Terror managed to go around and finish off Greenleaf Boy under the tower. That was impressive off screen. Here comes Box Top. Ironside's coordination is masterful, because Box Top was here. Wow, Box Top showed up and basically, following his lane, and Zed powerless to contribute at this point. Wow, and Box Top really showing mid lane dominance and bot lane dominance. But here's E Honda diving him under the tower. There, the exhaust goes down. They managed to finish him. Alias managed to finish him, but he's got a flash out. He's totally out of mana. Greenleaf still alive, but he is running support Zyra, so he's going to have to CC armor break. Yeah, he's going to have to CC armor break. And meanwhile, top lane, wow. Kenny Terra pushing another tower. Kenny Terra is going to be really dangerous soon. Really dangerous soon.
Oh, look at him. He's so mobile. The audience is telling us that we are noobs, Crowmar, and that this is a normal Kennen build.
Nah.
Nah, I don't really think it is, guys.
There are many different kinds of builds you can call normal. Running straight AP is normal. Running straight AD is normal. And so on and so forth.
He picked 2 Doran's Blades. I mean, he's probably... he's not... You know, these players with this level of coordination are not using any sort of cookie-cutter builds here, guys. They're adapting it to the team that they're facing, and they change it depending on what their enemies build. This is not a solo queue match.
Oh, there comes an ult down from Greenleaf. Seal Tear
nice shot
knocked
there
up.
from
And then Umouse trying to protect him. And Greenleaf forced a flash to get out of the bullet time. That was pretty slick.
I gotta say, Ironside's response to these ganks is very, very good. They're just moving all over the map. I mean, Lear obviously has insane map presence with 2 teleports, but also the only time Boxstop ever leaves his lane is when his team needs him. And I feel like his timing with his roams is stalwart, man. He's exactly where he needs to be when he needs to be there. But of course the audience is saying, oh, we know everything about League of Legends. Oh, we're all Diamond 5 players. Yeah, okay. Okay, guys. I guess we're all noobs over here. But yeah, it remains to be seen how Kenny Terra's builds unfolds. We'll just keep a close eye on him.
Yeah. Well, you know, he hasn't bought in quite a while. So I think he's going to go back and purchase either. I mean, I guess he could go for Leandries. He's got 2K, so I guess he could go for Leandries, but that's not what I would guess. I mean, I would guess he'd try to rush his death cap as fast as possible because more AP on a Slicing Maelstrom is key. And Slicing Maelstrom, you know, for an AoE, for a constant AoE, just does an incredible amount of damage as he scales up.
Yeah. There we go. He just went back to
He went for a rod. Yeah, he just bought a rod, so I'm sure he's buying... well, I mean, he could also be buying a Zhonya's. I mean, the Zhonya's is a core part of any Kennen build, so it could be either Zhonya's or Deathcap first, depending on what he wants to do.
Most likely he's building a Zhonya's today. I don't really know what he's going to follow that up with, but...
well, it could go either way. I mean, so far his build's been, you know, here, there, and everywhere.
Well, apparently it's cookie cutter and it's standard, Crowmar, and we just need to get on their level. So
if it's so cookie cutter, I'm sure they can tell us for sure what he's building next. But Caitlyn, by the way, is actually at top farm. So Greenleaf Boy really holding it down with 144 farm, despite all the chaos that's been going on in this map, which is impressive. And there's Asenhold who trying to disengage armor break, not bad, and they catch Seal Tear. Seal Tear is not the one that wants to get caught. Trust me, Ailey is still chasing it with the Shen ult. Here comes Kenny Tear, slicing Maelstrom, but it's not enough. Actually, it is enough, and Aelius does die, but he only gets one of their targets. Anyway, Greenleaf survives thanks to the intervention. Oh my goodness. Liar is basically unkillable at this point. He's going to have to retreat, and that fight went very, very strongly in favor of Chicago.
Yeah, what was supposed to be a dragon attempt from the looks of things turned into a full-blown team fight, and you know what? It's not even over, as Yihamda's looking to do some diving here from the looks of things.
Check out Kenny Terra's health. I really thought Kenny Terra was going to die there. It looked like he was going to go down, but no. Alias went down first, and Kenny Terra is able to survive. That's, wow. 1 auto attack, 1 Q. Alias was all it took. Man, that was close. And that completely turned around the team fight. I mean, if Alias had gotten that kill and they had taken out Kennen right then and there, I mean, they could have really turned it around. Greenleaf Boy is super fed, and he could have done a lot of damage if he knew that threat of Kennen was extinguished.
Yeah, this is looking to be pretty one-sided here in the mid-game for Chicago, apart from the defense that Ironside's been doing under these towers. But I do feel like Yihamda and Armor Break are really moving around the map quickly and keeping the team in check, and they just have far superior map presence for the most part, and that's with a Shen with 2 teleports. So I don't know, it remains to be seen, but these builds are starting to unfold here, folks. It won't be long before Yihamda finishes off his Rune King from the looks of things. Maybe he'll be well, I'm not really sure what his first build order will be. Looks like we're just kind of discombobulated with our analysis of these builds, but you know what? Chicago doesn't have a standard team comp, and that's the second time we've seen that.
Yeah.
So it is interesting to see how they choose to go into the late game, transition into the late game, because the last Summoner's Rift, aka the only Summoner's Rift we saw them play, was ended at about 20 minutes or so due to some crazy counter jungle.
That was a little bit different. I mean, that was a bit of a mismatch. This match, you know, Ironside's basically the top of their division, and it's actually a fairly even matchup. I mean, they are ahead 5K at 20 minutes. That's not insurmountable in the slightest. I mean, we've already seen quite a few major plays from Ironside's, slick stuff with their Shen. Just the fact that you have a Shen automatically is going to give you a huge advantage in the late game. We've already seen them take a Dragon because they just simply overpowered Chicago. We've seen them outplay Chicago in some areas, so this is clearly, you know, if Chicago is probably higher ranked, well, Chicago is higher ranked than them, not probably, they are higher ranked than them. There's a really good chance that Ironsides has room for an upset, and it's close enough. I mean, they can do it. I think they can do it.
Yeah, this is looking pretty crazy here. It looks like Kenny Terra pushing the top lane while his team, three members of his team are pushing mid. This is a serious split push.
Yeah,
as
Kenny Terra's
Ihamda's
still
pushing
split
bottom
pushing,
as well. Ihamda is just taking the towers while the rest of the team is just in shambles. I mean, I think Ironside is a bit confused.
Ihamda going deep on Greenleaf Boy. The exhaust goes down to maybe save him. The barrier is going to save him unless the Ignite tick. Oh my god, the Ignite outlasted the barrier. Saw that a couple times in the circuit. That is painful to watch. Ignite countering that barrier pretty hard.
Look at how aggressive Ihamda
nice work
is, man.
from Ihamda, yeah.
He just makes these plays look like suicide, but sometimes they just work for him.
Yeah, they do. Box top, by the way, is going to be incredibly dangerous very soon. So he just pops the intervention, the box goes down, he finally dies, but not until after the intervention runs out. It's quite a while. And they wind up trading 1 for 1. But Kenny Terror is here. Liar is not going to be able to save him. Kenny Terror eating that shield for breakfast.
Seal Terror at full HP. Well, he just got massacred there by Zyra and tower damage. But really very little focus on the AD carry of Chicago from Ironside. Which is a little bit surprising to see. He's kind of just roaming free at this point.
Yeah, they had no opportunity. I mean, if you look at their team comp, they're going to be entirely reliant on Alias being able to jump him. However, in that fight, it just was not an option. It just was not an option. So they're basically what Ironside's going to need is a better initiate, better engage, and not be pressured into the tower. I mean, in that situation, they were pressured on the tower. They had to react immediately. They couldn't simply just wait for the right opportunity or try to set something up. They had to react right away, and that reaction was to kill Armor Break and disable him from killing their own carry. I mean, Box Top late game is going to be as hard of a carry as Caitlyn. He is behind on CS. He needs to catch up. But KotL, if you have not seen a fully stacked KotL, especially a post-rework, she does incredible damage. I mean, she has a ranged Ravenous Hydra built into her kit. It's crazy. And Ihamda with a massive blue steel doing his full combo. Shadow Shuriken and Shadow Slash. Oh, man. All at once. Stealing that from Box Top not happy.
Yeah. Honestly, man, we haven't even seen... Okay, there's a ward at Baron now from Greenleaf, but honestly, is it time for Chicago to take a Baron, or at least force a fight at Baron?
Maybe.
I feel like it is, but they're just focused so much on this split push strategy.
Yeah.
Ihamda
Makes sense.
And Kenny Terror just pushing top and bot, left and right.
Yeah.
And it's working, man. They're at the base towers now, and it's forcing Ironside into a very defensive position. Of course, they do have the Evelyn, who can roam around free for the most part until she gets spotted, and just keep eyes on everything that's going on. But yeah, I do feel like it's about time Chicago went for some sort of a Baron attempt. But look again with this split push, man. Kenny Terror on top.
They're doing it again. Triple
bot.
split push, crazy stuff. And Umal's a little bit out of position, but he's catching up now. He was doing some ward clearing. They've got hyper aggressive ward placement here from Chicago. I mean, they've got the entire enemy jungle on the right side of the map.
Yeah, their entire team is just aggressive.
Crazy.
It's very. I like it. I like it a lot. They don't run an AP carry, and they play very, very aggressive.
They go assassins all over the place. And yes, Zanya's first for Kenny Terror. I know he bought a little while ago. I'm just pointing that out now. He went for Zanya, so he is going to be even worse than before, and he's so fed right now. But he is a little bit behind on AP, partly due to his build, partly because he went for defense first, which I understand.
You mean his standard build, man?
Yeah, his allegedly standard build, right? He's a little bit behind on AP, but I don't think he minds. Let's see what kind of gold he has saved up. He doesn't have enough gold for a needlessly hard rod, but once he does, that'll help him out quite a bit. And of course, once he has his death cap, then his team fight damage is going to be extraordinary. But I think Chicago actually wants to end it before that point. The way they're pushing it so aggressively, keeping them inside their base, keeping them inside their inhibitor tower, forcing them to be in 3 places at once. I mean, it's just masterful. Love to watch this.
I love this strategy from Chicago. In fact, I love the majority of the strategies they employ. Why? Because it's so dang aggressive. I'm an aggressive League player. I like to watch aggressive League matches.
Yeah.
And this basically ignoring Baron and just pushing all 3 lanes at once. It's awesome. I love it. Obviously, it's hard to do because when you force a team into their base, they can mobilize through the lanes a lot faster than you can. But they're able to do it due to the mobility of the champions they choose to solo push. And Kennen, very slippery champion.
Yes.
Zed, even more slippery. He can jump over walls within a blink of an eye. So, yeah, I mean, it may not work in the long term until they start downing towers, but I feel like right now it's really smart.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the tower situation is really grim. Really, really grim. Besides being behind 9k gold, Ironsides is they're just getting destroyed on towers. And Chicago took their second dragon, so they're now a dragon ahead. And Ironsides now, they need to push towers. I mean, there's a lot of gold waiting in those towers to be plucked. I mean, if they were to, hypothetically, if they were to wipe out all the towers right now, they would almost catch up on this gold deficit. They need them. They need to do it, and they need the map presence. They need the vision control. They need to do a lot of stuff right now, and Ironside's definitely hurting. But they can do this in a team fight. They can pull out those amazing team fights. They can have their triple carry set up work out for them. I mean, Eve, maybe not the best carry, but she is effective at damage at least. I don't know.
Oh, look at this. Pulling Baron with that Peacemaker.
Oh, there we go. Kenny Terror jumping on Alias, wasting Slicing Maelstrom. And Alias pretty happy about that.
Cromar, so easy to point the finger of blame, my man.
Well, that's what happened. Not blaming anybody. That's what happened. I mean, you could say it was really Greenleaf's excellent play, or Alias, rather, his excellent play in baiting that out. I don't know.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Caitlyn pulling that Baron with the Peacemaker and forcing Thresh back. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Now we saw some amazingly aggressive play from Chicago, and now I feel like they just need to mobilize and take a Baron or something. I know I've already said that, but check out this 1v1 in the bot lane from Lear to E Honda.
Here comes Alias for possible revenge. E Honda, though, really difficult to catch on Zed. I think Alias is going to keep chasing him through the lane.
I think he's going over this wall, Cromar.
Yeah, E Honda can escape at almost any moment, and there he goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice play. Almost cost him his life, but E Honda, he loves his 1v5s, if you guys didn't know. And they actually took that opportunity to take this Baron. This is a
Greenleaf
bit risky.
boy is not coming up.
Greenleaf is going to catch sight of this if he doesn't already have it. So there's no jungle. Eve is in transit, but I think it's too late to smite.
They can't. Oh, it's such a great play. Zed completely distracting their whole team for so long. They're able to take the free Baron. And Box Top's attempts to interrupt them fail. Intervention doesn't even save him.
I think that play was done on the fly, Cromar, and this is just like fast thinking from Chicago. They gave up the Zed kill just so they could grab that Baron. It was by chance that Lear was down there and they had a 1v1, but they took advantage of the placement, or excuse me, of the positioning of Ironside's team in real time, and that just goes to show how strong of a team fighter Chicago is.
Yeah.
And where did this team come from, man?
Well, Chicago, obviously. And it's worth pointing out, by the way, that Greenleaf Boy had stayed bot lane to 1v1 that Zed, and he won. He won the 1v1. But anyway, Alias trying to get saved by Lear, not going to be enough. And the box going down to prevent Greenleaf Boy from escaping. He dies too. This could be a game-winning push right now. They've got way too many people down. KotL is back up. Maybe they can kill KotL. They don't have Zed.
Yeah, Zed is far away. He does move pretty quick, but he is across the map, ladies and gentlemen. But it doesn't really matter, as it appears Chicago is able to push down 2 inhibitors with 4 people.
And Umaus going deep. The box not available just yet. Got quite a ways actually on it. Lear trying to mix it up with them. They're going to take out this second inhibitor unopposed.
Notice how they utilize Dark Passage with these tanky champions. Usually it's used as more of an escape for an AD carry, but Umaus is using it really aggressively to bring his bruisers into melee range of the targets. And that really complements their team comp of basically no AP carry, all bruiser, all day strategy. I mean, Kennen's starting to move more towards the AP role, but he did just finish off his Abyssal Scepter, so he's quite tanky.
He's building more bruiser too. Yeah, he's building that Abyssal Scepter. He's going more defensive as well. So his Slicing Maelstrom will continue to be not that strong, but I don't think they mind because they still have bullet time to rely on, and they still have E Honda's massive amount of damage on Zed. He is so fed right now. He's essentially tied with the top farm overall, and of course he is also the 4 kills and the 4 assists, so he's doing just fine on damage. In fact, his build is exclusively damage. He's got Last Whisper Brutalizer and Blade of the Ruined King. No Randuins yet. Usually you get a Randuins on Zed. He has not got that yet. So he is going pure offense, and that's why Kenny Terror is not feeling the need to go, max out his AP.
He's looking to finish off his Black Cleaver real soon here. How much gold does he have in the bank? 1.7. So, yeah, he's been doing a lot of shopping, but I think, again, they're back to this split push strategy. We have 3 players from Chicago pushing bot.
Sure.
And we also have Mr. Ihamda pushing the top lane from the looks of things, or just clearing golems, getting even more far and getting even more powerful. At this point, I don't even think they need it. They have a few, just a short while left on Baron buff. I think they should utilize it for another push here, another team fight, and just end the game. But they are playing this very safe. It is the first of the best of 3, and I think they're looking to end it sometime soon. I think they just lost their Baron buff. No, it's still active. Never mind. Ihamda died.
Yeah.
Baron buff. So, or he never got it.
I think he was actually dead when they killed the Baron. Yeah, he was. So anyway, they're gonna push this bottom inhibitor now. They're getting ready for it. Check out Ihamda's positioning inside their base, constantly threatening their nexus or threatening to assassinate somebody. He is so squishy, makes a great target, makes a very tempting target, and that's exactly what they want. They want Ironsides to abandon their inhibitor to chase Zed, and if they do so, then they have 4 people ready to push it in. This may be happening right now. Box top going for Ihan in a 1v1, waiting for the intervention before he goes back in. He goes a little bit too early, but still, doesn't matter. He still wins that 1v1. Really solid. Meanwhile, down bottom, there's a cataclysmic team fight with the combination of ults, and what else is there to say about that right there? I mean, they just completely stomped them. Umaus may go down to the tower damage, but I don't think that they mind, and Kenny Terror taking a couple more hits. There we go.
Oh god, Ihamda is dealing an elephantis amount of damage right now. That is so impressive.
Elephantis.
The way he's just dancing around these targets.
I don't even know what that means.
It's not an actual word, but
okay.
Man, that was some really impressive play there from Chicago. Mixing it up with that team comp, I'd love to see it.
Elephantis Hamda. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, and look at this. So standard Kennen build. Really nicely played by everybody. In fact, Kennen went undying right there, you guys.
Yeah.
So his super standard Kennen build was very effective in that last play, or in that last game rather. So Ironside, it's in their, the ball's in their court. They got to choose which map they want to go with for this next matchup. Of course, they have to win the next game in order to stay in this best of 3. So